Somebody touch the spaghetti.
Somebody touch your spaghetti, Prit. This is a serious offense. We need to look deeply into this.
How much do you want to look?
Pioneer squad! Move out, pioneers! Starting on a
Exactly.
field fortress.
I think Steven is gone. Steven, are you still here? Nope, it's gone.
He's gone.
Disappeared into the thin mist of space.
No, what happened? I forgot. I was sitting here talking for a minute. I was like, man, nobody's hearing me. And yeah, I was
That
saying
is
about
correct. That is correct.
We need some
Yeah, well, my screen-
Steven ambience here. Like hear a little voice.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking. Well, last week. Shit, I was talking a lot. But my screen goes off on my phone, and when it sleeps, it cuts me off voice wise through the Discord. So you won't be able to hear me. My screen goes off, which is kind of annoying.
Then turn it off.
No, I can't, because if I turn my screen, like if I turn my screen off, and I can't see like the what's on my screen on my phone, it cuts me off from the Discord.
No, I mean like it automatically turns off the screen, right?
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can do that. Actually.
Turn that function off.
Yeah, because actually I ran and I said I was gonna be right back, and I ran to go get.
Team available for deployment.
What are you doing, Sigge?
Co actually this
Calling
late.
it up.
I'll do.
Even if I close the app to go to a different app, like it cuts me off. Hello?
What up?
Hello.
Sigge, where are you at? Why can't I see?
I'm in Sweden or whatever. What?
I called you. Wait. I didn't call you. I call you Sweden.
I'm in Sweden, man. Or whatever. Whatever that country is. Sweden.
Make Bofors? You guys make Bofors.
You guys still make Bofors?
Bofors. Go right for us. Go for us.
Alright, so what I was also looking at is who makes the cargo. Who makes the cargo ships? You're looking at a lot of people.
America makes.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
It's not a big surprise. I mean, if you stop making battleships out of nowhere, that you might go like, maybe we can make some other kind of boat. That is also basically big.
Wait, what? Who makes the most cargo ships? South Korea. Whoa.
South Korea.
South Korea makes the most.
Nokia cargo ship. It's a bad joke.
That's crazy. But then I could do that though. I could actually buy a cargo ship from South. Like, do that. It's just you gotta start with one boat, and then we go on to the next. They called me Nemo. You shall know me as
Nemo.
God Captain Nemo, who was actually a real person. And U.S. merchant fleet.
It's done. Get out of here!
Whoa, what the fuck? Sales sword. Oh, that's the old news though.
You might want to buy a destroyer as well in case you come under attack by a U-boat threat.
No, that's what the Navy's for.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
It's a government contract, so it's gonna be government employees that'll be working on the boat. And you know what the best thing about it is that we pull all our employees from the Navy. Hey, so people that
Ooh.
that's how the government contract works. So you just all your employees come from the government, like they're government workers basically. So the government also consists of the military. And so with the government contract, when I need employees, we pull them from different departments and different areas. Normally the military, that way they have a second career first before anywhere else. And then you just basically hire the right people through their expertise. And so with a naval boat, like with just one vessel, like there's tons of people that have worked plenty of vessels. And then the biggest thing is finding the crew all together that'll correlate into going from point A to point B. So like there'll be different languages normally on a boat, or different people that speak different languages. So the main thing is having everyone be able to speak English for the most part, so that way they can manage being on the boat together. Because the Navy is like super diverse. You got people from like Indonesia, people from Africa, man, people from South America. There's people from all over the world that are like in the United States Navy, which I never knew that. And with the Navy being so diverse, like it'd be easier to get one crew from like a place like South Korea, but to get a crew from just the United States, the Netherlands, is going to be like super tough. It wouldn't be impossible; it'd just be really hard. So like I would have to look at the North Atlantic fleets, look at the Mediterranean fleets for the Navy, and see who's like leaving to basically who wants to apply for working on a boat. You know, so anyone that's contract is coming to an end, it's like, hey, you want to still work on a boat and still make a good pay, or at least make better pay than what they did in the military and just have better benefits, basically, because you're still a government contractor. So, like, the biggest thing about having employees is just not only being able to pay them, but make sure they have like retirement benefits. So that way, if they are younger by like, if they're like 40, at least they can work another 20 years and get their retirement check in a sense. Or I would say 20. Well, yeah, that's fair because you'd be like 60. You get out of the military. If you went in the military by 20 or by 18, you get out by the time you're 38. From 38 to 58, you would basically have two retirement checks. You would have a military retirement check, and you would have the retirement check from basically just working through the company. And so it's because 20 years. That says it's double 20 years. You got double retirement check. I feel like that's fucking super fair. 20 years? Like literally get out of school, and so 20 years would be another fucking time of having a retirement check, which is just you're just on the boat, super simple stuff like you just managing the. I don't know how the boat really works, but you manage whatever needs to be managed on the boat to make sure the boat is afloat. And
A lot
you get
of
it from
stuff,
point A to point B.
maintenance, cleaning,
Yeah, so all of that.
flag signals.
The perfect person to talk about all that stuff is the captain. The captain would be the perfect person to talk about all that stuff when it comes to the roles on the boat, and then because you don't have to worry about like armament and stuff like that. That's like a whole different like field. But you can still hire people from like the armament field that actually like work the weapons on the boat and still offer them a position because at least they know how to like be on a boat. I think being on a boat is like the biggest thing because you're gonna be on a boat for they take these boats take gosh man that was like 3 months basically. It's like 20 to
They'll
45
eat up
years.
fuel. They'll eat up a shit ton of fuel.
Yeah, they will that's another expense to look into.
That is not something you can just buy. I feel like you need to have like a contract with somebody if you want to do like Shell or something. Like go ask Shell for some fuel.
Yeah, you could probably do that. That would probably be the best. Look into a company that's able to, well, look into the company that actually refills the ships at the ports, because that'll be the only way to refill the, like, do anything like that. If you had to refill the boat, you wouldn't do that on the water over there unless you stopped at like a fucking rig or something. I don't think rigs are meant to be like that, to just be stopped and then like refueled and stuff. I don't think that works like that. But for you would have to find a company that's actually associated with the port that actually takes the time to refuel all of them. I know nuclear power is like a thing, but I don't even know how nuclear power actually works. I know the carriers are like nuclear fusions. I don't even know what nuclear fusion is. I'm not a nuclear physicist, or I don't have any knowledge on. I know it's clean, but I don't know like the process behind it. I know in order to get some form of propulsion, nuclear, that whatever nuclear is reaction, I just know things need to be hot to move things very, very quickly. And that's like just me understanding like simple science. That's not even me understanding fucking nuclear shit. I just know.
So how that works is you got like plutonium or uranium 235, and then we're going to hit that with another, either an electron or another uranium or plutonium molecule, and they'll go hit each other at the speed of light. And to make sure that happens all the time, you make like essentially a cylindrical tube which is filled with graphite, so it just stays in one direction, because this has something to do with polarities and magnetism, so it just stays pinpoint in the middle of this cylindrical tube. Those two molecules will hit, they will split the atom of both sides, create significant amounts of force that goes in both directions, and essentially, because the entire tube is heating up, it will boil some water on top, and that will be forced around in the turbine, creating force that you can translate into either another force of propulsion or energy.
Yeah, so that's how you get your movement. That's yeah, from the hot water, from water being super hot. That's crazy. That's super clean. That's so fucking clean. You just gotta be a fuck
Until
up.
it goes wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. You can't be a fuck up. Because if you fuck up, that's that is
Well, one,
painful.
everybody on that ship is dead, and then also, there's like a spot in the sea that you just created that nobody can sail into. Also, it's leaking into the ocean.
Yeah, that's some
Ocean!
super dangerous shit right there. Super dangerous
ocean
shit.
is
So yeah, so
leaking?
being on the boat, you would definitely have to pay everybody a reasonable salary, which is like a whole other expense. But just finding the price of the boat is like the biggest thing, because then you can you have to leave it at a harbor. But if you understand the upkeep cost of just having it at a harbor, it's gonna be constantly like packing, unpacking, refueling. Yeah, it's just a bunch of moving basically. The ship is always going to be moving. As long as you have a good to be transferred, you don't have to just do the drones specifically, but you do the drones first, and then you move over into moving like other supplies from Amsterdam. So that'd be like, okay, so that doesn't even have to be like moving supplies from the Netherlands into the United States. It can be like taking like food and shipping it back to the Netherlands, basically. So I think the best thing we got going for us is that we got a little bit of farm. No, we got a whole lot of farm. We got a whole lot of farm.
So what the hell are you gonna sell us?
Whatever you guys might not be able to grow over there. It doesn't have to be food. It can be anything from, you guys need fucking metal to steel.
Oh yeah, we need steel, but we gotta deal with Germany for that stuff.
Yeah, see, so okay, so something like that, if the prices, if we can get you guys a deal on like delivering you guys steel,
What about gas?
Yeah.
Give us gas. That's a big thing right now.
like oil barrel, like petroleum, right?
No,
Oil?
like actual gas. Like
What kind of gas?
what's it called? Methane, propane, and butane.
Oh, we could definitely do that. Holy shit, that'd be expensive though, man. That'd be like, but it can fucking happen. That'd be some shit that'd be expensive. That's a whole fucking Okay, so yeah, that'd be on the way. Like,
That is something we want, because we had like gas pipes from Russia, but they're going to be closed down by the end of this year, and then gas prices are gonna skyrocket because we haven't figured out a solution yet.
well, there's a solution right there. We'll just have to ship that particular. We would have to probably. Could you guys make it if we just give you like the oil? Could we just give you the oil and then? Because I'm pretty sure that comes from.
No, we just import like literally from gas pipes from Russia. We just import the gas already as an end product. So there's no synthetic factories that are here stationed to make any kind of gas products that would allow us to just cook on gas. Which is why we're like in this basically it's this 5-year plan, just like Ireland, where we just go into like everything needs to be electrical right now. Everybody needs to get solar panels, and it's going to be a state law that by the end of like 2030, if you don't have a solar panel and if you don't have a water pumping system, then you're going to be fined on a yearly basis based on how many days it has been with you not having solar panels or a water pump system.
Okay, so
Also, if it stays away a year after 2030, you are forced by the state to get a state loan to purchase solar panels and a water pump, which you will have to pay off on a monthly basis.
Okay, so that's a big issue. Actually, that's a really, really big issue. That's
Yes.
okay. So that's gonna take. It's not hard to like solve, but like yeah, we could. That'll be the key fucking export that we can give. Now the fucking issue is like price though. Like prices, price is fucking crazy.
Ready to fly.
Like
I can imagine that.
so the because like drones coming from out, like technology coming from out of the Netherlands, because it won't just stop at drones. It'll be like other shit. I can imagine it being like more stuff. If not more of that, more drone, and then it would turn into a brand. But to ship back, that would like definitely have. I would have to look into that. That's so you said methane, like just like gas for like heating, right? Just like how regular household heating gas.
It's not for heating, it's for cooking, but because we don't use gas for heating, we use water. So there would be, yeah, just propane or methane.
Methane, propane. Okay, so I gotta see propane.
Propane is like the professional version of methane. No.
Listen, no, it's not, that's false.
To unleash our heavy tanks.
Okay, hold on, I'm looking right now. Well, the chemical structure is super different. So propane is like a clean burning fuel.
Yeah.
And then methane's only has 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen.
Yeah. Like the further you go into the methane, butane, propane, butane, what is the other called? Septane, cestane, octane,
It's just a cesspool of all those.
dectane. The more, what is it? Carbon molecules get added.
Yeah. Then you got
Chemistry.
methane. You got CH4, you got C2H6, and C3H. Let me see that. For propane is C3H8, so it's 8 hydrogen molecules and 3 carbon molecules. And so every time you add a carbon, like you just said, it's fucking. I see it though. And you got, but before you get the propane, you have to add another molecule to make ethane. So you have to make ethane before you can just make propane. But I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you add oxygen. It's a flammable No way, that's how you make fire. Also make methane and propane. Oh, you know, you do use a... Yeah, you need to use carbon monoxide to create
Yeah.
the lower level gases.
Yep, and then as you add the carbon, you increase the hydrogen.
You do also the carbon.
Listen up. How can we help?
Which I didn't fucking know that. But the burning aspect of it, the propane is way cleaner than the methane. So I don't know. Do we have? I don't
I
know. I
think
know
methane
propane.
is the cleanest. Because it's so simple and small.
Oh, so yeah, it's a greenhouse gas. I don't know what a greenhouse gas is. I don't remember what a greenhouse gas is. It's what it is. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't remember a greenhouse being. I know the greenhouse effect is not like too favorable, but
Resources are now available to
it's higher upfront cost though. Hold on, wait a second. Is this? Well, propane's basically what you're looking for. You're looking for propane.
We are
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you guys are looking for propane. It'd be super fucked to give you guys fucking methane, and then you guys honestly just need fucking propane. Because that you guys would be fucking living. I'd be sitting in another day especially if you need something like this. This is like I'd be super fucking pissed about that methane. That's something I didn't even know. I didn't even know fucking. I'm just not learning something new basically with this the gases here. I didn't know that was.
Chemistry.
Yeah, I didn't take chemistry. That's the thing. If I took chemistry, I'd blow shit up. But I might take chemistry. Yeah.
Oh, no chemistry. Holy crap, that sounds so
Yeah,
scary.
I didn't take. So the two classes, because I was alright with the science. The two classes I didn't take that I really needed to take that I just kind of taught myself was chemistry and biology. And I was really liking biology, but I was going through a lot during high school. And so I didn't get a chance to take those two classes. And so those are two classes that I'm actually looking to take with my college credits. That way I can, because I can take chemistry and it'll still like put me into nuclear. No. I took physics, but I didn't take chemistry, and I didn't take biology. So there's another science there that you can take in high school here. And so I'm looking to take basically biology and chemistry to fill in the gaps of what I might have missed. Because realistically, I look at it on a normal basis, but I don't look at it enough to know off the top of my head, because I had to look at something like this to understand. Like, I know what I'm looking at, but I just didn't take the class to just know it off the top of my head. I didn't take fucking those sciences, which I'm gonna fucking switch up here. But the propane is. Okay, you know what I need to look up though is how do you fucking add that second carbon? Like, do you just how is that? Like, how do you add that second carbon there? Because you gotta get ethane before you get propane.
You need to burn it. You're gonna create two different end products the moment you burn it. So if you go from methane, so that would be CH4, to ethane, you need to add carbon monoxide to burn it up, or just basically what is the other one called? Carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide? CO2, essentially is what I would want to say. And then you burn those two together, and then the end result will be... No, sorry, I'm still saying it wrong. You need to add oxygen, and oxygen will create the C molecule, which is carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, according to the efficiency of the burning of both molecule structures.
Yeah, it's several. Yeah, I see what it is. Damn, so they got a pipeline that's that fucking long? That's scary, bro.
We did it.
Wow, they got a fucking pipe. Russia? You said Russia's got a pipeline that goes from where to where?
It goes from. No, it's not just that. It goes to Finland, it goes to us, it goes to Germany, it goes to Hungary, it goes to Romania, and it goes to Italy. And it's all going to be shut down.
Oh, that's the biggest punch in the fucking gut. Oh my god, that's the biggest punch in the gut, bro. Oh my god, that's a punch in the gut.
It's
Wow,
all
that's
gonna be
fucking
shut.
dangerous.
Shut. Shut
Do you know
down.
that? Yo, wow. Oh, it's also butane. I didn't even get that far. Oh, Department of Energy. I forgot Department of Energy. Man, forgive me. I forgot Department of Energy was a fucking thing. What I'm looking at is I just found a logistical chart that it's more like a logistics map. It's not like a chart. It's like a map. But it starts with your imports, your gas wells, your oil wells, and then you have your refinery for your oil. You have your gas plant for your gas well, and then you have your imports. And they all go into like an underground storage, and then from the underground storage, they get distributed into a pipeline station, and then from the pipeline station, you have the pipeline terminal, which I don't understand that process right there. So I have to look up that process from the underground storage to the pipeline station to the pipeline terminal, and then you get like your trucks and then your gallons and stuff like that, and you get your logistics where it comes like you get your visual logistics that doesn't involve the manufacturing of I guess consumable gas, and then you go into your obviously your gallons of whatever, like getting transported from the pipeline terminal to a retail plant. So you take everything from a pipeline terminal, however far your retail plant is, and you distribute it into your retail plant, and then you basically got your bulk trucks and your slinger trucks, and then you go into your retail customer, which is the oh wow, but there's no wow. That's just like a one-way ticket to no resources, man. That's scary. That's like there is no like building more resources unless like that's crazy. That's scary. That's fucking. There's no like renewable anything about that. It's literally like you take it from here, you bring it over here, you take it here, and you fucking got this, and then you consume it basically. I know
Yeah.
it renews over time, but like the overtime is like how much overtime are we talking about? Or is that just a myth? Because
I mean,
that's a lot.
we're talking about.
I
It turns
just,
into either carbon dioxide or monoxide, and also heat. You'll always create heat. That's a certainty. That's a certainty in chemistry. That's a certainty in mechanical engineering. That's a certainty in electrical engineering. There's always heat dissipation. You'll never reach 100%. And you can't do anything with heat.
yeah, that is true. I know that.
That's why the heat depth of the universe is just the point of everything is that, because you can't do anything there.
So crude oil. Yeah, so crude oil is what I'm familiar with. But it says so during crude oil refining, basically. That's when, damn, bro, this is critical though. This is like we're talking about fucking, you know, like this is a $1 billion industry. This is something that's not like, this is very, 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 very fucking expensive, honestly. I'm not even talking about like, so the whole getting one cargo ship and then going from here to there, that's like small compared to actually distributing, like getting gas to where you got like throughout the entire fucking country, basically. And that wouldn't just be the Netherlands, but you would probably have to start that up for the Netherlands first before you go into everything else. And then the price, like, okay, so when it comes to let me see the, oh fuck, I didn't do that. Okay, so can I go back to where, oh shit, can I just cancel that out? Okay, yeah, okay, that works. So where the expense really comes into is it would be imports from your. You would have to get an underground storage belt and then a pipeline station belt, a pipeline terminal, and you can get that belt probably in Germany, to be honest, and then just distribute it from Germany everywhere else throughout the United. Like that would be the conversation to have with like the EU, basically. Like you would have to talk to that wouldn't be like a one country operation when it comes to just getting gas.
The reason that conversation is not happening is because everybody has the same issue and everybody wants to resolve it themselves at the moment.
Yeah. That's another part. Yeah, okay. So yeah, then that is kind of where I was gonna go with it because right now what I'm looking at is like it's definitely what you're talking about with the Netherlands. I can see that, but then how I see it is what you're talking about. Like everyone would want to solve that for themselves because they wouldn't really have the time to like focus on another country making sure that gets done for them. Like somebody in fucking France is not going to be worried about getting
No.
gas in like every other country. It's that's not the mentality that's going to happen there. It's going to be whatever country in Europe can supply itself is going to supply itself. But the best way to really look at it is and see Russia does it. And see Russia fucking does it, and that's fucking. So damn, that's so painful, man. That's so you would really have to find another country that's not Russia and do the same exact thing that Russia's doing, and it would really have to be talked about. And so that's something that's really, really, really political. That really involves a lot of people at the table to really talk about who talk about what country. It's just, yeah, that because what Russia's doing is like crazy, and then I mean you can import it, and then but the process, the import, the gas plant, the refinery, like the just getting the basic materials, getting the resources is not as critical as having the underground storage, the pipeline terminal, and then the logistics that goes into distributing all that natural gas to everyone in different places. That's where the issue is. It's very, very like one country can literally turn into another Russia, and it's not to say like that, but in a very like horrible way to say it. Like what Russia has is basically what another country in Europe could potentially do, which is really fucking hard to like fight because then you don't want to have the same issue where one country's monopolized this logistical chain that every other country in Europe relies on, and then you have to worry about just basically sabotage in a sense. You have to worry about that's like the biggest thing when it comes to anything. Like with Russia, if the pipeline from Russia was to be sabotaged, I mean that automatically stops everything there. But to look at that without Russia just being involved in everything, you have to look at what country would be able to supply and not go into a shit fest. And when I say a shit fest, I literally mean like shit can go wrong in a country, and every other country's fucked basically. Again, and you don't want to have that same fucking one country's fucked, and then everyone else is fucked kind of thing, which is really really hard to come around. So to get a pipeline going throughout the entire like what country would do it is the very key thing. Like Russia's already doing it. Like that's already like I keep saying what country would do it, and Russia's already fucking doing it. So it's just a matter of getting Russia on the same page, which is really really fucking tough. But it's a crazy. That's definitely not something to try to digest in over one night, really. But like I said, that's $1 billion operation, and I mean I mean, fucking the euro is like it's not a bad currency, so it'd be $1 billion operation, and it'd be really expensive. But just I off the top of my head, I don't even know. Like I would think Germany, but then I feel like that wouldn't even be like a fair decision. I feel like I think off the top of my head, I would be like Germany, but I feel like I didn't even give that any thought. So it's not even something to really just be like, oh, this country could do it over like. And everything would be. It's not even something to say and talk about and be like, oh, in one night, like this country could do it. Like, it could fucking German engineering is like really, really good. I will say that. But when it comes to several other things, like the country itself, when it comes to something like this, can't go to shit. Like, there's a lot of things that's happening in Russia that's putting Russia's just going to shit in Russia. Like, whereas like the most concern Russia has is with Russia. It's not even like with what the fuck is happening in like Ukraine or any other place. Like the shit in Russia is like very
A lot happening indeed. What about you, Sigge? What do you think about all this?
Well, Russia funny. Russia very
God.
fun. Yeah. Well, wow, wow, very funny. Very funny, guys.
You heard it here first, folks. They're funny. They're hilarious.
They
All the
like
fun
do
stuff they've
stuff
done
that's
lately.
just like all fucked and stuff.
Just a little bit.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Grenadiers ready. Scheiße, does anyone know how to aim this? Get going. Grenadiers reinforced. Vorwärts, march. Scharfschützen. Pioneers awaiting orders.
Ready for order. We are carrying our own MG-42.
Moving to the front lines.
Taking hostile fire.
Here.
Pioneers ready for assignment.
How can we help?
Jäger, listen up. Heading to location. Hands are ready. Yeah, we can get there.
Pioneer squad, on our way. Jawohl, we are moving.
MG-42 turret is ready. That's a confirmed relocation. Taking our stupa out for hunt. Patrolling its way. We have lost a pack gun. Driver, get this stupa on the move. Contact! Heavy machine gun! There! We are losing a sector. Floor it! Zeroed in on us. Get to new firing positions. Keep moving. They can't shoot. I want a grenade on that target. Do better! Sons of squad, keep your aim steady and engage that infantry. My shoots and made a kill. Enemy forces are securing our territory. Who's sneaking fire over here?
Pioneers moving to the right location. This enemy.
Starbucks relocating. Jäger. Yeah, moving. Stupas on the move. Taking fire. Keep your head, keep moving. They can't moving to enemy.
Oh, thank you.
Zeroed in on us. The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. On the way now. Delta is on patrol. Patrolling our sector. Delta under attack. Starbucks rolling out. Delta ready for action. Hang on. Got it. Delta has coordinates.
Shit, idiot thing.
The enemy has destroyed a panzer.
Where are they?
Stupa ready. Crew, we're moving.
Shit.
A mortar team has been killed. Walking around. When do we get to the shooting? Super unterwegs. Put it in neutral. Nothing like a trek through the countryside. I just wish it wasn't this. We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
What? Are you kidding me? Okay.
Panther ready. Standing by. Superlight is better moving. Yay, heading to location. Returning to base.
Damn, you know, I was honestly, I was just go to it's gonna be a fucking noise in it. Hello?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, that's what I didn't want to hear because I was literally sitting here talking about fucking the importance of. Okay, I don't know where you guys heard me. I cut out eventually somewhere, but
I can't
was sitting
even
there.
remember, sorry. Like, yeah.
Well,
I
I was talking about the importance of like a country doing what Russia's doing because you'd have to find one country.
yeah. That is the part I do remember.
Yeah, and then I was talking about you asked Sigge about how Russia is doing, and I was kind of throwing in the domestic issues that Russia was having without really specifically talking about the domestic issues. And I was saying that the biggest issue that they have so far is finding somebody to replace Putin, because Putin has taken X amount of years in his position, and then there needs to be somebody that's actually qualified to put Russia in the right direction, because you just couldn't throw anybody up there and shit goes south. Like, you can't, basically nobody wants Russia to be a puppet state in a sense, which is really, 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 really tough to avoid, because then you're gonna go into like the anthropology thing behind everything, because Russia has like a lot of culture that's been there, and you don't want to have somebody that doesn't understand Russian culture being quote unquote like a puppet in a sense, you know, because Russia needs somebody that's really gonna like put Russia, that understands the culture. If they're like if they're Russian and they understand Russian culture and they're like pro-Russian and they're not like super fucking extreme, and they can basically work with the rest of Europe, the rest of the world. I'm not saying fucking just Europe. Like, you can just work with the rest of the world internationally and just put Russia in the right direction. Like that's kind of what Russia needs. Like, Russia needs somebody that's gonna put
I
that
wouldn't say so.
on fucking paper, basically. And it's really hard because Russia might look like they have a lot of land, but it's not a lot of people. It's a lot of land, but it's not a lot of people over there. So it's really hard to get, and they're very like, the atmosphere is not like major city atmosphere. Like, it's very rural, lots of farmland, lots of like backwoods. It's like small towns here and there. You got Moscow, Leningrad. It's a few big cities, like but literally like a few, like, and I mean so few. So it's not like a lot of people, and then a lot of those people that are in the major cities that make up the bulk of Russia's like population aren't even like Russian. So it's hard to like find somebody that doesn't come from a different country that can speak Russian, and then be like boom, 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 boom. Like, we're gonna fucking, because you gotta have somebody that's at least gonna be able to. Because Russia is not like the Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union, you could have thrown anybody from Ukraine at the, you know, in Stalin's position. You could have thrown anybody from Belarus. You could have thrown anybody from Tajikistan, like any of those countries that were under the Soviet Union. You could have thrown anyone at the top to basically take over Putin's position. But once the Soviet Union got dissolved, now you can find somebody in Russia that can stand up for Russia, and it's really hard to do that. And so there's some people that are really for it, and they're really extreme, and they are willing to go to all levels of extreme. And I respect it, because the situation that they're in is like very, very, very serious because it affects a lot of other countries. Like the whole pipeline thing, like if shit doesn't get right in Russia, like yeah, you guys are gonna fucking paint an arm and a leg. You'll be living in huts for a minute. People are gonna be mad. People are gonna go livid, and it's like they're gonna say it's Russia's fault, but it's gonna be more serious than that. It's going to be extremely more serious than that because then there's going to be a lot of other countries like China can get involved with that, like the countries in the Middle East can get involved with that if they're not already involved already. Like there's so many other countries that can get involved with what's happening in Russia and just basically puppeteer their entire government and put their their entire Russia into something that's not going to like benefit Russia or Russian culture or it's going to be a shit show basically if Russia can't get its shit together. Like it's not like something. It's just different society. It's like people don't care about politics over there as much as people do over here in like the United States. Like there's people here that say and I'm willing to like step forward and just at least even if they're not qualified to be the president, there are people that are willing to like step forth and just try for a second, even if they're not qualified. And like that's not a position I actually want. Like me being the president, that's not a position I want. You'd have to like work with me to get to that position. I wouldn't be a position I would be like, well, but there's people that are like willing, like if I was president, and it's like the president goes through a lot of shit, so. And you fucking same thing over there. And so there's a lot of people in Russia that wouldn't really want to care about being like the president. They just want shit to be in order, basically. And so when it comes to just wanting shit to be in order, like there's people that are basically under Putin that would make shit fall into order, basically, until people kind of realize the importance of having a government. Because like our whole fucking American man's like 200 years, we literally people over here kind of think that the American Revolution kind of started just from taxes, and it wasn't because of taxes. It was literally because the United Kingdom or the Great Britain was basically over here and they were taxing us without governance. So there wasn't anybody over here that was affiliated with the government of the Great Britain. Basically, there was like no governance over here. So like what there was crime and corruption and hostilities and people over here, people over there, all these migrants, like it was a shit show. And there was no like we're gonna fucking make it okay and make it great over here. It was like we're just gonna make Britain great. So when people started to revolt because shit wasn't in order over here in basically the colonies shit wasn't getting right. It was people fucking killing each other left and right. You had the natives running around. Like the natives were already here. Like nobody was really wanting to work with the natives. So like shit was just getting fucking super out of whack. And then eventually, you got your founding fathers basically that kind of came together and was just like, well, we're gonna fucking make sure that we just kind of are independent in a sense. And by the time that happened, when the whole independence thing kind of happened, that's when Britain was like, no, you can't. So it was very like fucking crazy because Britain was not really wanting to be affiliated with like the colonies were independent, but it was like there was no governance with them being independent, which was like. That's how Britain kind of saw it, which is in their defense. I don't mean to like make it sound like Britain was like the bad guy. When it came down to being independent, that was the case. And so like with the colonies being so far away, it was just kind of like, well, there was more of a take than a give because realistically, like, we tax you, we have you guys get independence, but then realistically, the colonies were looking for governance in a sense, and it was like we're getting taxed by a foreign fucking state, which was like unright. And the capital they felt like the capital just needed to be over here, or it needed to be the second capital. There was so many fucking theories that went behind it, to be honest. But aside from anything, by the time like revolting and revolution was like, the big trend and the topic of discussion, that's when basically and was like, okay, well, we're gonna fucking go to war, basically. Like by the time people were like wanting to really like go to war, that's when fucking Britain was really over. And Britain was they were willing to fight it out, but I mean, obviously they had shit going on with France, and you had Napoleon in the fucking midst, and you have all kinds of fucking things that played I mean, that was after, but You know, you just all kinds of fucking things that like played a part to play. It was because I think the French Revolution was roughly around the same time as the American Revolution, which was like crazy. And the French Revolution was long. And I didn't realize how long the French Revolution was. Like our revolution wasn't even that long. Our revolution was like
Robespierre.
How does 80 years sound?
well, Napoleon was like 18 fucking like it was like 30 years after the American Revolution, but the French Revolution was like shit was fucking shit. Oh yeah, I don't want to say the French Revolution, but like shit in France was like shitty. Things in France were like it wasn't shitty, but it was getting really shitty. It was getting, and I think our revolution is what really like sparked
Oh,
that.
crap.
France and Britain weren't really seeing eye to eye since those days, and that was just like France, Britain, Spain, like all these fucking states were just at each other. Like all the countries in Europe were just at each other's throat. So new land over here was like a fucking the big fucking trend.
God, Steve. fucking
Beautiful. Beautiful, Steven.
hell. Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the American kind of thing where it comes down to like all that shit. Because like right now, like people here don't really fully understand what's happening over there because it's just kind of like not our problem. But and like then that's just kind of like from a very like basic perspective from like most people that are like living a day-to-day life. Like most people that live a day-to-day life don't really see it as our problem. And so the more what the government tried to do was basically influence people to pay attention to things like that, to understand that it doesn't like it does involve them basically because that money that goes over there, all that equipment, whatever, it's all paid through tax money. Everybody gets taxed once you make money. Like everyone, you work a job here, you get taxed. So the more employees you have, the more assets you have, like everything gets taxed. The only thing you can't tax is like a share in the stock market. Those are like things you can't tax. The government can't hold. So if you make $100,000 off of a share in a company, the government can't tax that. There's certain things the government can't tax. And you can't tax taxes basically. That's another thing. So when it comes down to like $1 billion in taxes going over there, people don't see it over here as well. Not everyone, but like there's some people that do see it like that. And they probably complain the most, but they don't really do anything because they're living a lifestyle. They probably make $120,000 a year in America. Like they probably make a good career salary in America. So obviously they're gonna complain, but they're not gonna do anything to like go into a better direction. It's really hard to like
King of Angmar, but
influence
it's just
people to
a random
stand up and say
Discord
rally
server
together.
I'm
Like,
in.
you have to
Some
get people
friends
very
that
angry here
just
in
like
order
to
to
talk
get people
about stuff.
together. But I feel like that's like everywhere. So that's what's happening in Russia. There's like a lot of protests and a lot of like this is stuff you don't probably hear about too often. But there's like a lot of protests is going on. A lot of people are like really upset. Things are like people in Russia protest like really hard. Like I mean, we went from fucking Stalingrad to where the fuck is that place at? Like that place ain't even a fucking. I mean, it's Volgograd, but it's not called Stalingrad. And they changed that shit quick. Like they protest really fucking hard over there. They make sure that shit goes down. Like protesting has been a very strong part of Russia's culture, and people they protest like fucking. You do that shit that fucking France pulled, and I'm telling you, man, fucking people in Russia go ape shit. They are some of the hardest protesters in like over there in that part of the world. That part of the world, those are some of the hardest protesters you could ever come across. And so that's just part of their culture. Like they like the Decemberists was probably like a really fucking critical moment of them like people protesting for like a changing government. And then they protest like a fucking they don't do like over here like people rioting the Capitol, like that's like some shit Russia does on some real shit. Like that's Russian like all over. That's how hard they protest, and they've been doing that they do that shit for years. And so there's a bunch of protesting over there, but they don't do like a lot of like they don't strike. They don't do. I mean, they might do it here and there, but it's not like it's more of like they're ready to fight. Basically, like it's a fighting kind of thing. It's like when shit's going wrong, like they're ready to fight about it. And that's just kind of like how they fucking did it. If the politics isn't really working, then they're ready to fight about it. But apparently they don't have that fight because now things are fucking kind of where it's at. Like they're trying to like the government's always trying to influence people to take a step and make a stand and do things like that, which is like the government's hand to play and to try to get people to like move in the right direction or the right way. So it's really hard to say like what the government does is good or bad because at the end of the day they just want people to fucking just do something. You can sit here and complain and can talk and whatever, 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 but if you don't do anything, like it's very hard to just make shit come about, and there's very few that'll like make shit happen.
You
You
got
can
to
you can
make the
talk if you
shit to
want.
happen.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. It's definitely like the stuff that kind of is talked about but not talked about. Like it's not mainstream conversation, but it's definitely a conversation that happens between people that actually do a lot. And I actually heard somebody that was he was like a millionaire, but he was very. I actually got to hear a millionaire vent about something that wasn't money, and he was venting about how like the perspective and the mindset of most people, and he just goes into like laziness, and he's like but it's not like just fucking the laziness that you would think like, oh, I'm fucking sitting here and it's like gosh, man, the laziness he described was like so different. Like it was something you had to really be aware of because it's like you shouldn't be lazy and then like gosh, man, it was very it was he was ranting. He was ranting. Like he was very, very passionate about like going into like how people are lazy and they need to stop this and stop that. But like his overall like to talk about his overall purpose throughout his rant, it was more so just like a laziness that doesn't really have the attention. Like the laziness we see is like we don't want to do this, we want money, but we don't want to work for it kind of thing. And so that was kind of like what he was really going into. Like, people want money, but they don't want to work for it. People want money,
I
but they
guess
don't want to
somehow.
work for it. There's this got that going on, but they don't want to work for it. Like they see
Yeah.
this that go on, but then they don't want to do anything about it. And it's really hard to like get people to do something about it because there's always a consequence for doing something. And so the
Oh,
thing that I hear
so
some people,
Flaps,
like older
you
people,
wanna
talk
play
about is that
like
there's
one
not a lot of
game?
people that want to go against the grain because there's a lot of
Oh,
consequences. There's consequences for
I guess
every fucking thing,
I could add you as a
and you have to
friend or
understand
something.
which consequence. Well, from
Hang
my
on, I'm just
perspective, you have
gonna
to
exit
understand which
this
consequence you're willing to take
Discord.
because if you have
That's better, man. He can really, he can really talk a lot. The guy, Steven, he has a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, but yeah, Flaps. That's your name, like Flaps Pride, in game too. My name is just SiggeVibes. If you search for me, you could send a friend request.